What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another trade recap today for September 2. Today we took two trades, but unfortunately ended up losing both. However, we did have a fairly small losing day as we did size down and manage risk properly. With that said, before we talk about our trades, let's talk about the market context. So opening into today, market had really big gap down and a big sell-off in pre-market. So we were looking for a nice recovery, pop and fade at first, but due to the strength of the market in the morning, it convinced me that it was possible that we could have seen some nice continuation to the upside in the morning. However, we did not get that, and instead, the pop and fade did end up happening before we've ultimately recovered on the PM session. With that said, let's hop into our first trade. Our first trade was NVIDIA, and it was a nice break and retest of this pre-market key zone here for a continuation to the previous day low. As you can see, I entered around this area, but we did not get that and was quickly stopped. To be honest, I should have waited for a nice push above higher and close above that level before I enter, so I could avoid the trade entirely if I did take those precautions. Looking back, hindsight, we technically did have this upside potential, but we rejected off this area. This 1 minute should have indicated that buyers were no longer interested and sellers were starting to kick in. So to be honest, I should not have entered beyond this point, but it is what it is. Instead, I should have looked for a nice retest and continuation for the downside after I was stopped out. But again, market is just a Monday and I did not want to take any crazy trades just yet. I was patient and was waiting for another setup on other tickers, but did not get that. As you can see here on the 5 minute, very nice consolidation, continuation to the downside. I also continue after low of day, very nice shorts, probably netting you around 60, 50+% return on every contract at least. Second trade today for me was AMD. As you can see here, I took some calls off of this pre-market level here, 160.64. I was looking for a nice continuation. As you can see, we opened the market with really strong strength. Buyers were pushing it up really strong. So I was really interested in this retest area over here, especially with this nice doji candle indicating that buyers may kick in any moment. However, due to SPY and Q's chopping downwards or consolidating that range before dropping as we saw in the morning, I did stop all my trade just before we managed to get that move higher. I entered around 10 18 area, I think, and ended up closing the trade, I believe, around here, this 1027 or 1026, but doesn't matter, just before it ran all the way back up. This is something I shouldn't have done, to be honest. Really stupid decision by me, but it is what it is. In the future, I'd just set my stop loss below this, and nothing else should be, regardless my emotions, regardless I think it's gonna drop. My trade should be only invalidated only once it closed below. Other than that, I should not be exiting my trade in no circumstances. But with that said, it's also really important to protect your trade. As you can see here, nice key level here, nice level over here. So always want to be protecting your trade as we approach previous day levels. Very important, because even though if I was in this trade and I did end up catching it, if I didn't take any off the table once we saw these original pump, then my trades would have pretty much lost today. Would have got break even or at least lost. Since it was later on, cons over here were pretty much less than cons over here. If bought over here, this is due to the time decay and just a lot of Greeks. But yeah, very important to protect your trades so this does not happen. But that said, as you can see, AMD did kind of hold up today. It did not drop too low compared to the other markets. Compared to other tickers today, and held relatively strong. We were right about the trade, but it did end up happening in the PM pretty much for a nice upside back to breaking previous day lows or Friday lows. But it is what it is. Another ticker I was watching today was continuation to downside on Tesla. Once Tesla volatility kicks in, we tend to usually see some very nice trend days. So you can see Tesla has been dumping. So I was expecting some nice strong continuation down after a nice pop back up. However, as you can see, Tesla only managed to pop up until 333 level and ended up consolidating for the rest of the day. I was not interested in shorts unless we saw a break below this pre-market low, this 325.33, for a nice break and retest continuation downward. So no trade on Tesla. Last ticker for the day today was QQQ. Very nice continuation trade to the downside, but again, I pretty much just recently lost on that AMD trade, so I wasn't too sure if I wanted to take this trade. But now, looking obviously hindsight, this was a really good continuation to the downside trade. As you can see here, this level on Friday, or yeah, last Friday, Jackson Hole, or when Powell was speaking, very nice continuation level. As you can see over here, QQQ's failed to break higher and ended up, as I said, original game plan pop and fade. As you can see on this 5-minute, very nice retest just before retesting this level and continuing that to the downside. A safe trade for this would be to wait for some reaction before entry, but I feel like with our original game plan today and we knew it was going to be a pop and fade, we could have tried a really aggressive entry and just entering at the level. With that said, that was pretty much for today. These calls were kind of difficult to catch, mainly just low of day reaction, really fairly choppy price action around this. Can't really catch much unless you just enter strictly off levels, so very difficult day. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up for today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video and learned some stuff. Here is my executions today for my trades. As you can see, small losers, no big deal. We'll end up making it back for sure. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed and see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.